And so it begins, week 1 of the 2027 season. Familiar faces in new places. Lots to get you caught up on. Let's roll. We start with a good matchup in the NFC. And it's Caleb Williams. On target with that one, he had 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. The Bears come away with the victory on the road in the season opener. Week 1 was full of surprises, full of intrigue, and a lot of firsts for the young players. What will week 2 bring? Let's dive in. Lots to catch you up on. We'll start at Lambeau Field. The Packers at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And this is shades of 1985. The Bears defense getting it done. Fumble, ball's out, and watch this. He scoops it. He is gone. Coast to coast for the game-changing touchdown. The Bears are off to a good start, 2-0 on the young season. The first couple of weeks of the regular season were wild, to say the least. What about week 3? Let's jump in. Our tour around the NFL starts now. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the LA Chargers. And this is shades of 1985. The Bears defense getting it done. They come up with the key interception here, one of 2 for them in the game. 1 month down, and what a month it was. I'm Scott Hansen. Here's your Week 4 edition of the EA Sports Weekly Recap. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Seattle Seahawks. And it's Caleb Williams. One of his 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. The Bears able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. They win it in the final moments. The first month of the season has come and gone. Some early surprises, some early disappointments as well. Let's get into it. We'll begin in Glendale, Arizona. The Cardinals at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And it's Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to stretch the field here, and this one is on target. A 55-yard touchdown. The Cardinals use a late score to celebrate the come-from-behind victory. Week 6 is here, starting to get a little bit of a sense who the contenders are and who the pretenders are. Let's hop in. Our trip around the NFL starts now. Plenty to get you caught up on. We begin in Charlotte. The Panthers at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And it's Rome Odunze. He was a tough man to pin down all game long. This, one of his 2 touchdown catches. The Bears are playing well. They improved to 5-1 with this victory. Lots to talk about from the weekend that was. This a fitting capper to a compelling week, so let's get after it. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Detroit Lions. And it's one of the most dangerous playmakers in the NFL, Jahmyr Gibbs. He only needs a little bit of breathing room, and he knows what to do with it. We are into week 8, and we're starting to get a sense as to who are the haves and who are the have-nots. Let's get into it. This is your weekly recap for week 8. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's Rome Odunze. He had his way with the defense from beginning to end. How about 4 touchdown catches in the game? The Bears get their 6th victory as this win moves them to 6-2 on the season. Football weather has arrived and things are getting interesting. I'm Scott Hansen. Here's your Week 10 edition of the Weekly Recap. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the 49ers. And it's DeAndre Swift. Just give him a little bit of space, and he can do the rest. 19 yards on the touchdown. The Bears hold on and get the job done. They win in overtime. The playoff race is taking shape. I'm Scott Hansen. You're tuned in to the EA Sports Weekly Recap for Week 11. Plenty of action to get to. We'll begin out in Las Vegas. The Raiders at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And it's Tyler Scott. He was a tough man to pin down all game long. This, one of his 2 touchdown catches. 2/3 of the season has come and gone. I'm Scott Hansen, and your weekly recap for week number 12 is up now. Plenty to get you caught up on. Let's start in Detroit. The Lions at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And this is Jared Goff. One of his 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. The Lions come away with a victory. They win by 6. It is week 13. Things starting to get a little nervy in some circles. The home stretch starting to creep closer. Let's go to the highlights. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Green Bay Packers. And it's Caleb Williams. And this is a touchdown. Week 14 is here, the final 5 weeks of the regular season. Teams jockeying for position. Let's get after it. Lots to get you caught up on. We'll start at SoFi Stadium. The Rams at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And this is shades of 1985. The Bears defense getting it done. They force the fumble, they scoop it up, and instead of giving up points, they're scoring points all the way the other side of the field. Touchdown, scoop, and score. The Bears win their 2nd straight, and they do it in style. Lots to get to from a jam-packed Sunday of football. Let's get right into it. Our spin around the NFL starts now, and this is your weekly recap for Week 15. Lots to get to. We'll begin in Denver. The Broncos at home to take on the Chicago Bears. And it's Caleb Williams. He connects on the touchdown pass 18 yards away. The Bears win their 3rd straight game as they get the victory today. Final 3 weeks of the season are already upon us, and I'll come out and say it. It's when playoff teams become also-rans, and also-rans become playoff teams. Let's dive in. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Cowboys. And this is Luther Burden. He was a tough man to pin down all game long. This, one of his 2 touchdown catches. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hi, everyone. Scott Hansen here, and this is your weekly recap for Week 17. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's Isaiah Pacheco. The playoffs are set, and it's going to be good. Hi, everyone. Scott Hansen here with your weekly recap for Week 18. We start with a good matchup in the NFC, and it's Caleb Williams. On target with that one, he had 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. The Bears are in as the division champs. They finish off the regular season in style. Hi everyone, Scott Hansen with you, and this is the EA Sports Weekly Recap. Hi everyone, Scott Hansen with you, and this is the EA Sports Weekly Recap. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Seattle Seahawks. And it's Tyler Scott, one of his 2 touchdown catches in the game, coming right here. The Bears are on to the NFC Championship game. They get it done here in the divisional round. Hi everyone, Scott Hansen with you, and this is the EA Sports Weekly Recap. Lots to get to this week. We'll start at Soldier Field. The Bears at home to take on the Green Bay Packers. And it's Caleb Williams. He's going to find his man here. This, one of his 3 touchdown passes on the night.
All athleticism as he made his way in for 6.
You know, you run the ball down in the red zone, Kate, you're not always thinking touchdowns, right? Space is so hard to come by. But you're exactly right. His athleticism, his explosion, his speed, it puts 6 on the board for the offense.
Field goal for the Ravens. This a 52-yard attempt from the left hash. Pressure mid, and it's blocked! Has room down the left sideline. And they scoop up the block and don't stop until they reach pay dirt. Well, shout out to the special teamers, Brock. They got somebody in free to block that kick, and things just got better from there as he took it all the way back.
These special teams coaches, they live in dark places, man, and they look for any vulnerability they can. A lot of times, you're a step slow, just a millisecond away. Not that time. It pays off in the biggest of ways.
That one splits the uprights. And the Bears double their lead to 14.
Fast, those windows close in a hurry. The quarterback's fortunate that was one hand and not 2 hands that got on the football. We hear it every single week, Kate, when we talk to these special teams coaches, frankly, the whole team and head coaches, how important just that momentum is coming in.
And he was reacting more on the old quarterback instinct there.
Yes. I think yes on both of them, and that play happens so fast that it really is instincts on both sides.
Lamar's going to keep this one. And he runs it across. Touchdown! The Ravens making the scoreboard look a touch better. It's a Lamar Jackson touchdown. My partner up here is pumping his fist after that one. That is how you run an option as a quarterback. Good read to hang on to it and do it himself.
Yeah, because I could never do that, not even close. But when the defense overplays and you run that option, you get that good 2-on-1, more times than not, they will commit to the more dangerous guy, the running back. But you leave a lane, this quarterback can do some damage as well.
Now Jackson off the play action. And the 2-point pass falls incomplete. They tried to get it, but it doesn't work.
You go with what you think is your best option. There they felt like it was going to be a pass, but sometimes it simply doesn't work.
Here's Williams again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Chicago. The Bears put up even more points in a win. Well, he definitely wanted to get that one out quick, Brock. They did just that, and it ends in 6.
We hear it all the time, but it is so true, Kate. This is a game about matchups, and when you see a throw that quick, it really was determined pre-snap. It was great design and tremendous execution. That, it just is too hard to pile together, get first downs against the better defenses in this league.
Hits him on the out route. And they will take this into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Ravens putting up points in a game decided. Now, this one has been a long game, no doubt. But, hey, something positive to look back on there.
But they didn't quit, Kate, and I know that sounds a little cliche at this professional level, but it really is an important thing. This one will still hurt, but they showed some execution and fire.
That one right down the middle. And the Lombardi Trophy makes its return to Chicago. The Bears have won the Super Bowl! And I think it's still sinking in at different points for each player, Brock. Look at these shots. These guys have reached the crowning achievement for anyone who steps foot onto the gridiron as kids. Champions now, every one of them.
And it is something, Kate, they can never, ever have taken from them. I think you and I have come across many Super Bowl champions in both this game and champs in other sports, right?
Yeah,
and you hear the same message. This is something that was so hard to achieve, and it's something that nobody, not time, will ever take from them. What a moment.
So the Lombardi Trophy returning to the Windy City. Commissioner Goodell presenting it to the Chicago Bears. Super Bowl 62 champions. So that is a wrap. Another memorable NFL season in the books for our entire team here at EA Sports. For my partner Brock Hewitt here, our fellow commentators Brandon and Charles, Mike and Greg, I'm Kate Scott saying thanks for watching. We cannot wait to catch y'all again next season. Until then, good night everybody from the Super Bowl.